our support club in metal scene, hanging out with Davey of Davey Suicide. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Just rash Cleveland, so.
Pretty cool. We love having you here. Thank you for stopping here in our, wondrous city of rock and roll.
Yes.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. So you have a new album out. Can you describe the process from day one of making that album until now?
It was just me and Needles just sending files back and forth, and it was the easiest album I've ever been associated with, like writing, like past bands, everything. We just have a really good writing chemistry. We have a good dynamic, Came together really fast, 4 or 5 months, probably start to finish. That's it. And that's even like demoing to recording to finishing. Yeah, it's quick.
Compared to your first album, how do you think your concepts have evolved for the new album?
Well, you have your whole life to kind of put the first one together, and this one's a little bit more personal, actually. The first record was more general, and it was more about what we stood for, and this record gets a little deeper, I think. But I think there's a lot of recurring themes in this album too.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What would you do if you woke up naked next to Betty White and she asked, "Are you ready for round 2?"
I hope I was dreaming, actually.
Pretty cool. What songs do you like to sing in the shower? Everyone does it. Come on.
I actually have some of my best ideas while I'm in the shower. I'll have my little voice recorder on my iPhone, and I'll sometimes leave the shower to go record an idea, and then jump back in. But I do that more often than actually singing in the shower. A lot of times, especially like on tour, like the showers are like alone time, and it's alone time when you're away from people. And so.
Pretty cool. While I'm on tour, do you have a favorite restaurant to stop at, or?
Every once in a while we'll like pop in at the Golden Corral and do like the buffet or something, But most of the time we get fed at the menu, so we'll pretty much just drive until we get to the menu and then sort out food.
Pretty cool. Can you go in depth with details about the new album? Like you mentioned reoccurring concepts. Which concepts are those?
I think that when you grow up believing that you have to live up to the social standard, you have to think that you have to be perfect and all that stuff, and I think that the things that are wrong with people make people more special. And so that was the whole idea behind Imperfect. And I think there's a lot of concepts of freedom. We've been backed into a corner for the last couple of years, and finally we just drew a line in the sand and we're like, we're not going to be controlled anymore. And we'll find out what that's about later, but this record symbolizes getting our freedom.
I like that. It's really deep. Like, earlier, I was listening to your first album, I'm like, alright, second album, gotta go pick it up. Wait for it to become, available on Best Buy. I'm not a big digital person, like I'm old school. I'll pop in a CD in the stereo, just, open up.
Yeah, I love the CDs. It's a shame that the world is evolving to a point where they're not as big of a thing.
That's my next question. Do you believe that YouTube helps or harms musicians?
I mean, I think it definitely harms musicians in the sense that everyone knows they can just use the YouTube to MP3 converter and get the song right there. So, I mean, but it also is a promotion. I think we're in a time now where the music is more of the promotion for the show. And, you know, collectors get the CDs, and like people that support the band. You know, if the music is playing at shows or it's playing at a party and it's getting around, I don't think you can micromanage things anymore, get caught up in it because we've moved past that. We're just in a new era. We just have to adapt to where we are.
That's true. It's like you gotta keep evolving, but you still want to have a collection of like all the classics. Like, believe me, you're definitely my classic section. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Are you working on your own clothing line, or is that something you do on the side? Like, I noticed your clothes are custom, they're awesome. Me personally, I was wondering, are you working to start your own clothing line as well, or is that just something you do for fun?
Well, I have Killers Never Die, which I own, and I'm working on the Killers Never Die like winter line right now. I do like custom clothes, like all my stage outfits, and then I do like custom vests too. And you know, we sell those through Killers Never Die as well. But I'm always making something. I literally, like when I get home from tour, I like go into the lab and I don't leave the house unless I go to get food. And I just work on stuff. I just creating and finishing something that I'm proud of fuels what I do. And I love that moment. I love the intensity of getting to the finish line and then finishing it and knowing you're done and walking away from it and then looking back on it. That's great.
What do you like most about our wonderful city of Cleveland? City of rock and roll and art.
I feel like a lot of people look at this city as like an underdog city, and I've lived my whole life as the underdog. You know, I never really had the resources to get what I wanted when I wanted it. Was never the popular kid. And in a sense, I can kind of relate. Definitely with like the sports teams here, and the fact that there's a lot of like near misses, you know, a lot of close calls. I think that's why the Cross Your Heart was adapted. Like I made that logo because if I didn't have second chances, I wouldn't be here. And I feel like that's why I can relate to the city, honestly. But I think at the end of the day, it's like one of my favorite shows that I've played the last 3 years have been here.
Let's see. How do you handle stage fright if you still have it?
I don't even think about it. It's like, there was a moment like back in the day where I'd be a little nervous, I didn't want to fuck up, but it's so, I just get excited.
But yeah, like as far as the stage fright, I always heard like not to overthink it, just go out there and just do it.
If you practice well, you go into like an autopilot. You know, the people that really freak out, I think, are normally people that aren't really rehearsed, and they're thinking about all the things maybe they haven't done to play. So you have to always, I mean, you have to go through and remember that. You know.
Yeah.
The better prepared you are, the easier you are. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be done. Okay. We also have to ask you this. What is dating life like in your band?
What is what?
What is dating life like in your band?
Dating life? I have a girlfriend, so for me it's just I don't know, like I always just try to make, I've realized you have to make them feel as important as you can, you know, and when you're away, you gotta remind them that they're number one, and that, you know, if you believe it, and if that's the way it is. But I'm fortunate that I'm in a good situation, and that's something I care about. But everyone else does their own thing, you know, get in the mix of that. I don't know, like, I remember there was a time where you felt like you had to hide, like you had a girlfriend or what you were been. I think it's ridiculous. I think when you're an artist and you're doing real real stuff. I think people are going to pursue what you're doing because they believe in what you're doing, not because they're available or, you know, of course there's always going to be the fantasy with the artist. And sex appeal is part of what we do, but it's unattainable. It's unattainable anyway.
Like, no. Alright. Second to last question. Do you believe the theory that there are two sides to Hollywood?
To Hollywood? Oh, yeah.
Like the good or the bad?
I think that the good side of Hollywood is very thin. I've seen in 7 years, I've seen so many people just get completely consumed by it. But there's people that have moved to Hollywood to work, and then there's people that are moved to Hollywood because they're like chasing fame. And you have to chase greatness, and you want to become great at what you're doing. And the people that are doing well in Hollywood aren't going out every night getting fucked up and just trying to like hook up. They're at home working on something and creating something that they can share with people. That's the big difference. Most of Hollywood, that is Hollywood, they're not on tour. They're going to the same bars and they're just chasing tail. And the reality is like over the thousands and thousands of people that come every year, like a handful make it, and that's because those people realize how much work has to go into actually becoming great.
Alright, last question. How do you feel about playing a show with other bands that are not in your genre?
I don't mind. I love the Misfit. I think if you're going to get unique viewers and you're going to open up a new genre and stuff, I think that's the best. Like this was really fortunate because all three bands pulled from the same kind of demo. But I like the ones that are completely don't make sense, and I think that we're getting an opportunity. That's why Warped Tour is awesome. There's how many great different opportunities you're getting from all these other bands. And it's not a one-trick pony. And I think there's great music in every genre, and those kinds of festivals open listeners up to that opportunity, so they realize that.
Like, recently at a few of our shows here in Cleveland, a lot of people are only coming out because the show is mainly one genre, but then when Cleveland has multi-genre shows, everyone gets offended. They're like, oh! And it's sad, like, you're supposed to learn and grow, like, you're not supposed to go backwards. So, we want to know how many people feel the same way as we do. Like, we think everyone should learn and grow, but, you know, of course, everyone doesn't think the same way. They're, like, comfortable with what they know. They're afraid to step out of that box. What we want to know from you is how do you communicate how would you communicate your message of getting suicide to people who don't really know who you are, or they saw you at a different genre show that maybe you're not predominant in? How would you explain your message to those people that are like willing to go, but they're still afraid?
The majority of the population is very like stuck in their ways, and they're gonna stick to what they identify with, you know. But I think we have consistently turned people's heads, and there's parents that bring their kids. They're like, you know, we thought all the bands were gonna suck. We really liked you guys. You had like some 80s reminiscent thing that like was really nostalgic for us. I don't think you can change the population, really. I mean, the majority of the people are going to be the way they are forever, and that's fine, but I don't think it's something that you can worry about as an artist. You just have to do what you do, and you have to believe in what you do, and you know, there's going to be the people that rally behind you that can make a difference for you, and then there's going to be the core fans that really allow you to have a career, and you gotta work on making those people always feel appreciative of what they're giving you, because they're the foundations of the mansion and the kingdom, you know.
Very good, very good. Alright, I actually have one more question for you. What other bands do you guys jam out to on the road?
Probably like, well, in this moment, it's like one of the current bands that we're all into. Like my drummer's driving, in this moment's playing. He's big into breaking the horizon. I'm big into like Pantera, and I have a sore spot, or just like my little crush type of crush, but like my guilty pleasures are like Paramore and Tonight Alive. I really like really good female fronted bands. I like it this one a lot too, but you know, then we listen to like a lot of bands and Zombie, Nine Inch Nails. Get into Tommy Price more. You know. There's a lot of bands in like the industrial thing that hasn't happened again. It needs to happen. So I feel like we're bringing that to light.
That's pretty much about it. If you have any questions for support the house?
I just think it's good that what you're doing for the scene. Be more stable people in each city that care about the community and keep helping it thrive.
Cool. We are supporting the metal scene, hanging out with Davey of Davey Suicide. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.